In the heart of Europe lies a country that seems carved from myth. A land where mountains rise like the spires of forgotten cathedrals. Where lakes shimmer with colors too pure to be real. And where legends whisper through alpine winds. This is Switzerland, a realm where nature still reigns as queen, shaping stories as old as the glaciers that once sculpted its valleys. Here, every horizon is a painting, every sound an orchestra. The chime of distant cowbells drifts across meadows painted with wildflowers. The thunder of waterfalls echoes between sheer cliffs. The hush of snow settling upon untouched slopes feels like the heartbeat of time itself. Travelers have long spoken of Switzerland as if it belonged to another world, a sanctuary of purity, a stage where the elements themselves perform in grand harmony. And yet beyond its beauty lies mystery. Every mountain seems to hold secrets. Every lake a mirror into the soul of the earth. Today, we journey deep into this enchanted land. From the dagger-sharp peak of the Matterhorn to valleys carved like cathedrals of stone. From turquoise lakes hidden in alpine forests to castles that guard the shores of vast waters. This is not just a travel through landscapes, but through dreams. Because Switzerland is more than geography. It is poetry written in stone, ice, and water. This is Switzerland. It stands like a sentinel of the Alps, the Matterhorn. Its pyramidal summit pierces the sky, a perfect monument to the power of stone. Rising 4,478 meters above sea level. This peak is more than a mountain. It is a symbol, a dream etched into rock. For centuries, it remained unclimbed, feared by mountaineers as the impossible mountain. Its sheer faces turned away all challengers until 1865, when Edward Whymper and his team finally conquered it. Today, its silhouette towers above the car-free village of Zermatt, reflected in alpine lakes, glowing pink at dawn and burning gold at sunset. Cable cars now glide through the thin air, lifting travelers toward its icy slopes. And yet, even with modernity, the Matterhorn remains untamed. Avalanches roar down its cliffs. Clouds gather around its peak like spirits guarding a secret. To gaze upon the Matterhorn is to understand why mountains inspire reverence. It is not just a place on the map. It is a temple of nature, a reminder of human fragility and an eternal challenge to reach higher. The Matterhorn does not just rise above Switzerland, it defines it. High above the Bernese Overland, three mountains stand side by side, guardians of the sky. The Eiger, the Monk, and the Jungfrau. Together they form one of the most dramatic mountain sceneries in the world. The Jungfrau wears a crown of eternal snow. The Eiger bears a fearsome north face, one of the deadliest challenges in mountaineering history. And the Monk stands watchful, a serene protector between them. The Jungfrau region is not merely peaks and valleys, it is a living postcard. Meadows roll with wildflowers in summer. Winter brings silence, broken only by skis slicing fresh snow. Glaciers wind through valleys, feeding streams that sparkle in the sunlight. From Kleine Scheidegg, trains climb to the highest railway station in Europe. Jungfrau Joch, perched at 3,454 meters. Here, the world feels suspended between earth and sky, surrounded by an ocean of white. But beyond the grandeur, there are whispers of myth. Locals once believed the Jungfrau was a goddess, her veil of ice shielding the valley from curses. And standing beneath her, watching clouds dance around her peak, it is easy to believe. In the Jungfrau region, nature does not simply exist. It commands reverence. Deep in the Alps lies a valley so astonishing, it seems painted by a divine hand. Lauterbrunnen, the Many Fountains Valley. Here, sheer cliffs rise 1,000 meters, and from their faces cascade 72 waterfalls, each one a silver ribbon unraveling from the sky. Staubbach Falls, the highest of them all, drops nearly 300 meters, dissolving into mist before it touches the ground. For centuries, poets and dreamers have come here to stand beneath its veil. Johann Wolfgang Goethe, inspired by its ethereal beauty, wrote verses that still echo through time. The valley itself feels like a cathedral carved not by men, but by glaciers. Villages of wooden chalets lie cradled between towering cliffs, their church steeples pointing heavenward. The air is perfumed with wildflowers, and the soundscape is a symphony of tumbling water and ringing bells. And in the fading light of evening, the waterfalls glow like paths to another realm. Even today, Lauterbrunnen feels enchanted. To walk here is to step into a fairy tale, one where nature writes every line. In this valley of waterfalls, Switzerland reveals her soul, untamed, mystical, eternal. At the foot of the mighty Eger lies Grindelwald, a village where mountain life unfolds with quiet poetry. Wooden chalets cling to green slopes, their balconies overflowing with flowers. Above them, jagged peaks pierce the sky. Their glaciers gleaming like frozen guardians. In summer, meadows bloom with wildflowers, and trails wind through alpine forests toward hidden lakes and pastures. Hikers follow paths where the air is fragrant with pine, and the bells of grazing cows echo across the valley. In winter, snow blankets the land, and Grindelwald transforms into a kingdom of ice and light. Skiers carve through powdery slopes beneath the looming face of the Eger, the air alive with the thrill of descent. Legends linger here of mountain spirits and avalanches with voices of their own. And yet Grindelwald is not just a stage for nature's drama. It is a place of refuge, a place where life is slower, where mornings begin with sunrise over snowy ridges and end with starlight reflected in icy streams. Grindelwald is more than a village. It is a threshold, a doorway into the soul of the Alps. High above Lauterbrunnen Valley, two villages rest upon cliffs so high they feel untethered from the earth. Gimmelwald and Mürren. Reached only by cable car or mountain path, they are sanctuaries where time seems to pause. Gimmelwald, with its rustic chalets and quiet lanes, is a true alpine secret. Farmers still tend their fields by hand, and life follows the rhythm of the seasons. The air is fragrant with hay, and in the evenings, silence reigns, broken only by the distant song of waterfalls below. Mürren, perched even higher, feels like a balcony to the heavens. From here, the Jungfrau, monk, and Eiger stand so close it feels as if you could reach out and touch them. The Chillon peak towers above, once the set for James Bond, but in truth it needs no Hollywood to prove its grandeur. Together, these villages remind us that Switzerland's magic is not only in its landscapes, but in its way of life, simple, timeless, profoundly human. Here, you don't just see the mountains, you live among them.
Nestled above Kandersteg, Lake Oeschinen glows like a jewel set in the crown of the Alps. Its waters shimmer in shades of turquoise and sapphire, fed by glaciers that tower on every side. Steep cliffs rise above it, their reflections painting the lake with doubled majesty. In summer, the lake is alive with color. Wildflowers bloom along its shores, and rowboats drift upon its surface like wooden leaves. The air is cool, scented with alpine herbs, and from the surrounding slopes, waterfalls pour into the basin like threads of silver. The silence here is profound, broken only by the splash of a trout or the whisper of wind through pines. In winter, Oeschinen freezes into a sheet of glass, transforming into one of the highest ice rinks in the Alps. Families skate in the shadow of cliffs, while frozen waterfalls stand as crystal sculptures. Lake Oeschinen is not just a body of water. It is a dream suspended in stone, fragile, pure, eternal. Deep within a forest lies a lake so small, yet so enchanting, it feels touched by magic. Lake Blausee. Its waters are impossibly clear, shimmering with a luminous azure that shifts with the light, as though the sky itself has sunk beneath the surface. And indeed, there is something haunting about Blausee, a stillness, a sense of delicate mystery. Trout drift lazily beneath the water, their forms visible even in the deepest corners. Trees lean over its surface, their branches mirrored in crystalline perfection. Paths circle the lake, inviting visitors to wander in silence, to breathe the pine-scented air and listen to the hush of the forest. Though small compared to the vast lakes of Switzerland, Blausee holds a unique power. It is not grandeur that defines it, but intimacy. Here, you do not simply see beauty, you feel it. Stretching for more than 20 kilometers, the Aletsch Glacier is the largest river of ice in the Alps. From high above the Jungfrau, its frozen flow winds through the mountains like a colossal white serpent, carrying with it the memory of ages. To stand upon its surface is to stand upon time itself. Beneath your feet lies centuries of snow compressed into shimmering blue ice, slowly inching downward, reshaping valleys, carving the bones of the earth. It moves imperceptibly, a reminder that even what seems eternal is always changing. The silence here is immense, only the occasional crack of ice breaking, or the distant rush of meltwater beneath the glacier's skin. Birds circle overhead, but even they seem to lower their voices in this cathedral of frost. The Aletsch is fragile. With each passing decade, it retreats, a reminder that the wonders of our world are not guaranteed. To witness it now is to witness both grandeur and impermanence, the frozen heartbeat of the Alps.
In the Jura Mountains lies a natural amphitheater, so vast it could have been sculpted by giants, the Creux du Vent. A cirque of towering limestone cliffs rising 160 meters high and forming a perfect crescent that cradles an ancient wilderness within. From its rim, the view stretches across forests, valleys, and distant lakes. At dawn, mist gathers like a ghostly sea at its base, while golden light crowns the cliffs above. To walk along its edge is to walk the boundary between earth and sky. Wildlife thrives here in quiet secrecy. Ibex balance upon sheer rock faces. Lynx move silently through the trees. Eagles ride the thermals, circling above the vast arena below. The Creux du Vent is not just a geological wonder. It is a sanctuary of life. The Creux du Vent is Switzerland's great amphitheater, not built by men, but by the patient hand of time.
In the Italian-speaking canton of Ticino, a river of emerald winds through a valley of stone. This is the Verzasca. Its waters so clear they shimmer like liquid crystal. Flowing between smooth boulders carved by centuries of current, the river glows a luminous green, as though infused with light itself. Along its banks lie villages of stone, where slate-roofed houses cling to the mountainside. The most iconic crossing is Ponte dei Salti, the Bridge of Jumps. This double-arched Romanesque bridge curves gracefully over the river, a masterpiece of symmetry and simplicity. Beneath it, daredevils leap into the icy waters, their splashes breaking the stillness of centuries. Yet, even without such daring, the Verzasca enchants. Pools as clear as glass invite swimmers. Sunlight dances upon the surface, revealing patterns in the sculpted rocks below. At night, when the valley falls silent, the river continues its eternal song. A reminder that nature's beauty is both fleeting and constant.
The Verzasca Valley is a place where water becomes art, where stone and stream entwine in harmony. It is Switzerland's secret gem, wild, pure, and unforgettable.
Guarding the city of Lucerne is a mountain steeped in legend. Pilatus. Its jagged peaks rise dramatically, their crags catching fire with the colors of dawn. But Pilatus is more than a mountain. It is a throne of myths. Medieval tales tell of dragons dwelling in its caves, creatures with healing powers who once ruled the skies. Others believed Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Judea, was laid to rest in a hidden lake within its slopes, and that storms would rise whenever his spirit was disturbed. Today, the mountain can be reached by the world's steepest cogwheel railway, climbing gradients of nearly 50%, or by aerial cableways that float like feathers into the clouds. At its summit, a panorama unfolds, Lucerne and its lake glittering below, the Alps stretching endlessly beyond. As evening falls, shadows lengthen across the valleys, and Pilatus glows crimson in the dying light. To stand upon Pilatus is to stand in a place where legend and landscape are forever entwined.
They call it the Queen of the Mountains, Mount Rigi. Rising between Lakes Lucerne and Zug, offers a view that is nothing less than regal. From her summit, the world spreads in every direction, a mosaic of lakes, forests, and snow-capped peaks, stretching as far as the eye can see. Rigi is not a remote wilderness, but a mountain of the people. It was here, in 1871, that Europe's very first mountain railway began climbing toward the summit, opening the alpine world to travelers from every walk of life. To this day, the red carriages continue their journey upward, a symbol of Switzerland's bond between nature and innovation. Sunrise upon Rigi is legendary. Crowds gather in hushed silence as the horizon blushes with gold, the Alps igniting in soft fire. Mount Rigi is gentle compared to her jagged sisters, yet her power lies in perspective. She reminds us that sometimes the greatest grandeur is not in the struggle to conquer, but in the grace of simply beholding. High in central Switzerland, Mount Titlis stands as a kingdom of ice. At 3,238 meters, its slopes are crowned with eternal snow, and its glacier glistens under the sun like a jewel of frozen light.
To reach the summit, travelers board the world's first revolving cable car. Rising above cliffs and crevices, rotating gently to reveal the full sweep of the Alps. At the top, the air is thin and pure, the silence immense, broken only by the crunch of snow beneath boots. A suspension bridge, the Titlis cliff walk, stretches across a dizzying drop, Europe's highest. Crossing it is like walking between worlds. The abyss yawning below, the peaks soaring all around. Yet the fear melts away, replaced by exhilaration. In the glacier caves, tunnels of ice glow with an otherworldly blue. Frozen cathedrals sculpted by nature's hand. Mount Titlis is a place where humans touch the edge of eternity. Fragile visitors in a realm shaped only by snow, stone, and time. On the shores of Lake Geneva, where mountains plunge into deep waters, stands a fortress that has guarded the passage of centuries. Chillon Castle. Rising from its rocky island, its towers and battlements seem to float upon the lake, mirrored in the rippling blue below. First built in the 12th century, Chillon was both palace and prison, its walls echoing with the footsteps of dukes, soldiers, and captives. The dungeons beneath still hold the columns where prisoners were chained, including the legendary François Bonnivard, immortalized by Lord Byron in his poem The Prisoner of Chillon. Above, grand halls open toward the light, their windows framing views of lake and mountain. Banners hang from stone walls, and carved beams whisper of feasts, intrigue, and battles long past. As the sun sets, the castle glows with golden fire, its reflection stretching across the waters like a dream. Chillon is more than stone. It is memory itself, a sentinel that binds history and beauty in one eternal embrace. At the northern edge of Switzerland, the river Rhine gathers its strength, and then, in a thunderous plunge, unleashes its power. This is the Rhine Falls, the largest waterfall in Europe. Here, water crashes from a height of 23 meters. But it is not the height that stuns, it is the sheer volume. Every second, hundreds of cubic meters surge over the rocks, creating a roar that shakes the air and sends mist rising like smoke. Islands stand defiantly in the torrent, splitting the flow, their cliffs battered by centuries of water's fury. Boats creep daringly close to the base, swallowed in spray. While above, viewing platforms hang over the abyss, letting visitors feel the tremor of the earth itself. Yet, within the chaos, there is beauty. Rainbows shimmer in the mist, arching across the cascade. The sound of rushing water becomes a symphony, timeless and unrelenting. The Rhine Falls remind us that nature is not always gentle. Sometimes it is raw power, a force beyond control. And yet, in its violence lies wonder. The river moves on, carrying with it the spirit of Switzerland, eternal, untamed, magnificent.
As our journey draws to a close, Switzerland lingers not just in memory, but in spirit. We have wandered through valleys veiled in waterfalls, touched the silence of glaciers, stood in the shadow of mountains that reach for eternity. We have followed rivers of emerald, crossed bridges of stone, and gazed upon lakes that hold the sky in their depths. Switzerland is not a destination. It is a revelation. Each mountain a monument to time. Each valley a story whispered by glaciers. Each lake a mirror where dreams and reality meet. Perhaps that is the secret of this land. It does not merely offer beauty, it offers transcendence. A reminder that the earth is alive, breathing, dreaming, and that within her we too find our place. Travelers leave Switzerland, but Switzerland never leaves them. Its echoes remain in the rush of water, the hush of snow, the glow of sunrise upon peaks that stand eternal. Here, nature is not scenery, it is soul. This is Switzerland, land of magical mountains, enchanted lakes, and timeless wonder.